Once upon a time, there lived a man and a woman, Tochukwu and Uzoma. They both had 4 children, 2 boys and 2 girls. Adugo was the oldest one. She was the firstborn. However, her mother Uzoma was always maltreating her. She would make Adugo do all the work in the house and allow her younger ones to play around. She always beat Adugo the hardest and would scold her while she let her younger ones get away with things. This made Adugo feel less of herself. She did not believe that her mother loved her. She always thought that she had a different mother. She would always complain to her father, but her father would tell her that her mother loves her and that is why she was always scolding her. As time went on, one of Uzoma's brother, their uncle, came to visit. His name was Goze. Goze would visit the house and play with his nephews and nieces. Everyone was happy because he always brought snacks for them. He was the favorite uncle. Everyone loved him. He would play with the kids and help Uzoma in the house. She always liked it when her brother Goze came around. However, one night when everybody was sleeping, Goze went into Adugo's room and attacked her. Adugo screamed for help, but Goze pressed her down and nobody could hear her. The following morning, she ran and told her mother what happened. Her mother slapped her and told her to get out of her room. She was lying. She was a witch. Her brothers and sisters were surprised. No one knew what to believe because Gozie was the favorite uncle. He was never bad. He had never done anything mean to them. How could this happen? Adugo felt pained. No one believed her and she didn't feel loved at all. Why was this happening to her, she would say? Why does her mother hate her so much? Why would her mother believe the man that attacked her instead of believing her? Throughout this incident, no one mentioned it to Tochukwu, the father of the house, because Uzoma had told all her children and Goze not to mention it to him. So Tochukwu went around not knowing what had happened. Now, after a few months, Goze came back again to visit. This time, he tried to attack Adugo's sister. But Adugo was smart. She went in and called her dad. Immediately, Tochukwu saw that Goze was about to attack his younger daughter. He jumped on him and beat him up. He beat him blue back and told him to get out of his house. Uzoma was pleading, no, it's the devil, it's the devil, he will never do such a thing. I'm sure it's this Adugo that caused it. Tochukwu told her to shut up. Shut up, woman, shut up. Why do you hate this girl so much? I am telling you that I saw it with my 2 eyes. If I see this your brother here again, I will throw you out of my house and go back to your father's house. You see what you have done, you stupid girl. Evil, that is all you can do. Bringing confusion everywhere. This is what Uzoma said to Adugo. Now, after a few years, Adugo decided to listen to her friends and she ran away from the home. She was tired of being maltreated and so she left. She did not tell anybody where she was going to. And then years passed. In that time, Adugo had gone through the hands of many abusive men, but finally, she was able to have her own money and her own house. Then she began to miss her father. She wanted to see him again. So now, after many years, Adugo went back home. There, she saw her mother. Her mother was very weak. Her mother stood up to hug her and say, "My daughter, thank the gods you are back." But Adugo hissed and walked past her. Adugo went straight to her father. She saw that her father was on his sick bed and he was dying. "My daughter, please forgive your mother for all she has done," her father begged her. "Thank God you are back home. We were worried about what happened to you. You ran and did not tell anybody." Adugo told her father that she was tired. She had been maltreated too much and she was tired and she wanted to leave. And that is what happened. She ran away. "Thank God you're back, my daughter," her father said. After that, he died. After his death, Adugo and her siblings buried their father. Tochukwu willed everything to his children. His home, where Uzoma lived, he willed it to his daughter, Adugo. Adugo now had possession over his home. As was tradition, at the center of that home, at the center of the compound, Tochukwu was buried. He was the father. However, when Uzoma became sick and she was almost dying, she sent for Adugo, but Adugo never came. She begged her children to ask Adugo to forgive her, but Adugo never forgave her. Now Uzoma now died, and her other children wanted to bury her next to her husband, but Adugo refused. She had warned them that the land was now her own, and if anybody buried Uzoma next to her father, she would not be happy. Thinking that Adugo was just upset, her siblings went ahead with the burial and buried their mother next to their father. After the burial, they left. But what they did not know was that night, Adugo came and dug the ground and brought out her mother. She threw her mother's dead body into the bush. On hearing what had happened the following day, her siblings were confused. Adugo, we know that you and Mama never got along, but do you hate her that much? Yes, I hate her. How can you people bury her on my own land? Throw that woman into the Igbo forest. Do not bring her anywhere near me, both when she was alive and when she had died. I do not want her near me. Her siblings did not know what to do. Adugo now moved into the house and was now living there. However, every night, her mother's spirit would cry, Adugo, Adugo, please forgive me. Allow me to stay next to my husband, her mother would cry. But Adugo's heart was strong with hatred. Everything that she had been through in her mother's hand, she remembered it every day. What pained her the most was that when her uncle attacked her, she told her mother what had happened. Her mother refused to believe in her. She hated her for this. Now, after a while, she stopped hearing her mother's voice. The voice disappeared. Adugo believed that now her mother had gotten the message and her spirit had left her alone. Now, after a few days, Chinelo, Adugo's friend, came to visit her. Adugo, are you okay? Yes, I'm okay. What is the problem? You did not hear the latest. What do you mean by what happened? Chinelo told her that one of their mutual friends, Ebere, was the one who had put poison in Adugo's food some time ago. The friend had gone to a chief priest to ask that Adugo's spirit be tied in a bottle so that she would succeed Adugo. Adugo was richer and doing well as a businesswoman, and Ebere, their friend, was very jealous, and she wanted to destroy Adugo's business. So, her and the chief priest had come up with a plan to tie Adugo's spirit. But for whatever reason, a woman appeared and broke the bottle. The woman was screaming, "Leave my daughter alone, leave my daughter alone." Adugo was surprised to hear this. "Describe the woman to me," she told Chinelo. The woman is tall, she's a bit fair. She says she appeared in white. Tall and fair? That looks like my mother, Adugo said. Didn't your mother die? Yes, she did. Then Adugo went to where she threw her mother's body in the bush, but she couldn't see her mother's body. She now went to the Ezemo. The Ezemo told her that her mother's spirit had gone to fight on her behalf. Where a spiritual arrow was being sent to hit Adugo directly, her mother stood between Adugo and the arrow struck her mother's spirit. And now her mother's spirit does not have enough power to go to her ancestors. The only way to help Adugo's mother is to bury Adugo's mother next to her husband. With her husband's spiritual power, she will be able to ascend to her ancestors. The only problem here was Adugo had to forgive her mother. The Ezemo begged her, if for nothing else, for without her help, that arrow would have killed you. Your mother has saved you from death. Because of this, Adugo took pity on her mother. They located her body and buried the body next to her father's grave. After the burial, everybody left. That night, Uzoma's spirit appeared again to Adugo. Adugo, please forgive me. Immediately, Adugo woke up. Mama, I've forgiven you. It's okay. Go and meet Papa. Go. And with that, Adugo's mother disappeared and she went with her husband to their ancestors. Free Once upon a time, there lived two best friends, Urenna and Chioma. Both of them were good in sewing dresses for women. So they decided to move towards a larger village where they would see more customers. Because they had no family there, they had to live under someone. Chioma was able to live under Madam Nkechi, while Urenna stayed with Madam Akuna. They were so happy to move to a bigger village where they had more customers. They would sew dresses and make money. Part of the money was paid to their landladies, and the others they kept to themselves. Occasionally, they would send money back home to their parents. This went on for a few months. However, Urena's story began to change. When they came to this bigger village named Aguma, everything was going well for both of them. But Urena began to fall sick. When she was back home, she never fell sick. But now that she was here, every other week she was sick. Chioma thought that maybe because she was missing home, so Chioma told her to go home and spend some time with her mother. Urena could not do this. She could not afford to start going back home now, and customers were on her neck for their clothes. So Chioma decided to come and spend some time with her to help her get better. The first night that Chioma slept with Urena was very strange. While they were both sleeping, Chioma could hear noises at night. Mm, mm, mm. Ah, Urena, wake up, wake up, wake up. Ah, what is this? My dear, that's what I've been going through every night. Every night, one cannot sleep. What do you mean by that every night? Have you told your landlady? Yes, I told her, but she said nothing. This woman, I don't know, I have to leave this place. She's very wicked. Do you know that she doesn't allow me to leave the house after dark? And if I come back late from the shop, she will lock me outside. Uh-uh. Does she know that you're working? Yes. Are you owing her any money? No, I pay her every month. So what is the problem? I don't know, Chioma, I don't know. This woman is so wicked. She doesn't even allow me eat in the kitchen with her. Uh-uh. No, my own landlady is different. Madam Nkechi, that woman is so kind. She lets me eat even when I don't have money. And she's always bringing customers for me. Your own is good though, Chioma. My own is not like that. Maybe you have to leave this place. That is what you will do. Then they went back to bed. The next few days, Uredna did not move out of the house as planned. She kept staying there and she began to lose more weight. Things were not moving for Uredna. Before, when she was beautiful and healthy, now she looked pale and ugly. Before, when she had many customers coming to her, even in her small village, now nobody came to her. She had complaints up and down. Things were not going well for her. Everything was spoiling. Urena, what's going on with you? What is really going on with you? Something is not correct. I don't know, Chioma, I don't know. Everything is just slipping away from my hands. What is all this? Even the suitors that she found in this new village all abandoned her. Everything was going bad. Urena, what's going on? Yesterday I went to your shop and I saw your customers there. They were looking for you. What happened? Why didn't you come to work? I wasn't feeling well. What do you mean you weren't feeling well? Leave that place and go home so your mother can take care of you. Yes, I will leave. I will leave. Then Chima decided to make out some time so that she could follow Urena back home. Maybe she didn't want to go back home alone. So one day, Chima told her landlady that she would go back home in 2 days' time. And landlady was happy for her. She bought things for her to give to her mother. Urena's landlady did the same. She bought some things for Urena to take to her mother. But Urena and Chima were surprised. Why is she being so kind to you now? This is somebody that has always been mean to you. Why is she now buying things for you to take home? I don't know now. Let me just carry it as she has bought it for us. So both of them left and they went back to their village. Once there, Chioma went to her own home and Urena went to her own home. She showed her mother the things her landlady had bought for her. Her mother was surprised to see the things that her landlady had bought, but she was more surprised to see Urena so thin. The girl was fading away. She was almost collapsing. Urena, what happened to you? What happened to you? Urena explained that since she moved to her landlady's house, she has been falling sick and sick and sick. What's the meaning of that? Why would you be falling sick? Did anything happen? She said no. Are you quarreling with your landlady? No, ma, I'm not. That night, Chioma came to visit Urena's mother and she told her the same thing. But she did tell her that there was a strange noise she heard the night she slept with Urena. Now, Urena's mother kept thinking about this. So, instead of calling a herbalist, she called an Ezemo, a very powerful one that lived in another village. The man came and immediately he entered the house. He said that there was something evil in the house. What do you mean? Then he turned and looked at Urena and said, did you come with anything? Is there anything new in this house? And then Urena showed him the things that her landlady had given her. They included fruits, food, and materials for her mother. Immediately, the Ezemo stretched his staff over the things that Urena had brought, and all of them turned into rats, snakes, and scorpions. Everyone screamed. Now, the Ezemo revealed that the reason why Urena had been sick is because her landlady was sucking out her life source. The woman was evil and she sucked out the life out of young people in the name of giving them a room in her home. Now, to free Urena from this, Urena had to go down to the woman's house. The woman had a very big orange tree. Under that orange tree, the woman had tied Urena's life source. Urena was shocked. So her mother advised her that when she goes back, she should act like as if nothing had happened. So Urena and Chioma went back. This time, Chioma was going to stay with Urena. Everyone was scared. Urena's mother and Chioma's mother followed them, but they stayed in a different house. That night, Urena and Chioma went to her landlady's house, Madam Akuna. Akuna was happy to welcome Urena. She was even more happy to see another person, Chioma. She let them sleep that night. They gave her fruits and vegetables that they brought from their own village. Then that night, they pretended to be sleeping. As they were laying down on their bed, they began to hear Then Chioma and Urena woke up. When they woke up, they looked out of the window and then they saw many, many women. They looked like witches. They were all surrounding the orange tree, singing. As they sang, the orange tree began to glow. It was as if it was a life source, and the energy from the orange tree was going into them. As this was happening, Urena became weaker and weaker. Then, as instructed by the Ezemo, they brought out a calabash that they had come back with. They opened it and started singing as the Ezemo had instructed them. As they were singing, the landlady appeared. What are you doing? She shouted. What are you doing? But Chioma began to sing. She was singing and singing and singing. The landlady brought out a staff to strike Chioma. But before she could strike Chioma, the Ezemo appeared. He shouted, leave these children alone. Leave them, you evil being. As he struck down the landlady, Chioma continued to sing. She didn't stop. She held out the calabash and was singing. Meanwhile, Urena was falling sick and sick and sick. She couldn't stand. She was on the floor, shaking. When Choma saw her, Choma sang harder. She was singing to save her friend. The Ezemo struck Akuna again. Akuna fell down. The other women that were at the orange tree, once they realized that their fellow witch had fallen down, they moved to strike the Ezemo. But by then, Choma had finished singing and then she broke the calabash. Immediately she broke it on the floor. They all disappeared. As they disappeared, lights began to come out of the orange tree, and then one moved straight into Urena, and Urena was strong again. It was her life source. It had returned back to her. The Ezemo advised them that anytime they move into a new place, they should watch out and pray over that place. They should call on their ancestors to protect them from the evil ones. There was evil everywhere. Urena and Choma moved out of that house and they went to stay with Choma's own landlady. Their mothers returned back to their own villages, saying that Urena had been saved. Once upon a time, there lived a man named Jidenna. Jidenna was married to Amaka. It had been years since they were without child. However, after 6 years, Amaka gave birth to triplets. Giving birth to triplets at that time was a big deal. Everyone was happy for them. The babies were beautiful. The 3 of them were boys, and they looked so much like their mother. Now, no one had any problem with this except for Amaka's friend, Akuna. Akuna had been childhood friends with Amaka and Jidenna. Akuna liked Jidenna, but Jide married Amaka, and this made Akuna jealous. When she came to visit the babies, she saw that they were so light-skinned like their mother, and they looked nothing like their father. In her mind, she said, after 6 years, are you sure that this man is the father of these children? When Amaka was distracted by other guests, Akuna went into the baby's room and cut a piece of their hair. She took the hair of the babies and something that belonged to Jidenna to the Ezemo. Because she was childhood friends with Jidenna, she had some of his things. So she took them to the Ezemo, and the Ezemo revealed that the 3 babies had the same mother. However, the man who owns the calabash that she brought was not their father. Akuna was happy. This was a way to break up their marriage. The next day, when Akuna was on her way to the stream, she saw Jidenna. Now was a good time to tell him what she had found out. Jide, how are you? My sister, I'm good. I just came back from the market. I went to buy some baby things for Amaka. Come over here, Jidenna. I want to tell you something. What happened? Jide, how long have I known you now? How long have I known you? Akuna, we have been childhood friends for a very long time. What is the problem? Talk to me. Jide, has it not occurred to you that those children are not your own? Immediately, Jide stopped smiling. What do you mean by that, Akuna? You check it now. These children, they don't look anything like you. So I had to go and see the Ezemo. And the Ezemo revealed to me that these boys are not your sons. Jide, you cannot allow yourself to train another man's child. You have to make her confess and throw her out for this betrayal. I've told you long ago that I would have made a good wife for you. Jidenna was not smiling. He said, how did the Ezemo reveal this to you? How did he know? Akuna was hesitant, but she said, I took the hair. I took the hair and your calabash to the Ezemo. Are you telling me that you cut my children's hair and took it to the Ezemo? Jide, that is not the point now. The point is that you have revealed this truth and you have to keep that woman out of your house with those children. They are not yours. Jidenna kept quiet and said, "It's okay. Thank you. I will handle the matter." And then he left. Akuna was happy that he said he would handle the matter, but however, she was not happy that he was not shocked as she was. He seemed very calm. However, she decided to wait and go home. She was expecting to hear news that Amaka and her children had been kicked out. But weeks passed and nothing. Nothing happened. Months passed and nothing. What's going on here? Akuna then told her friend Chioma what she had discovered. Chioma told her, Akuna, if you have told him already and he has not done anything, and leave it alone. Maybe he doesn't mind. What do you mean? How can a man train another man's child? This will bring questions to his manhood. He has to drive that woman away and marry me. Akuna, you have to leave this matter. Leave it. You know, sometimes some of these married people, they have their own arrangements. Maybe he knows what's going on, or maybe he's waiting for something. Just leave it alone. But Akuna could not leave it alone. She had seen how Jide had grown into a rich and wealthy man, and she wanted that. She always wanted to be his wife. Why he married Amaka was a surprise to the three of them. Because from when they were small, Akuna was the one that always showed interest in him. Amaka did not show any interest in him. But as they became adults, Jidenna then married Amaka. And it took them 6 years before they could have these babies. 6! Yet he was faithful to her, even when his family told him to take a second wife. And Akuna was willing to be the second wife, but still he rejected. Akuna was not happy. She wanted to destroy this marriage. So one day, she went to their house. That day, Amaka and Jidenna were in the house and their babies were inside sleeping, the triplets, the boys. Akuna, you're welcome. Have a seat. Where is Jidenna? Where is Jidenna? Then Amaka was surprised. She called her husband and Jide came out. Akuna, what are you doing here? Jide asked her. So you haven't told her, Akuna said. Told her what? Amaka then looked at both of them. What is going on, Akuna? What is he supposed to tell me? My friend, will you stop pretending? Will you stop pretending? These children, I know for a fact that they are not his sons. Amaka did not seem surprised. Instead, she turned and looked at Jidenna, and Jidenna, her husband, looked at her. What is going on here? Akuna said. Let me tell you, Amaka, if you do not confess that these children are not his own, I'm going to announce it to the whole village. How can a married woman commit such an adulterous act? You have to be banished from the village. And these children will go with you. Amaka then knelt down. Akuna, please, it's okay. Don't tell anyone, please. Please, don't tell anyone. I don't want my children to be thrown out of the village and banished as bastards. Akuna was now happy. Now she had something to get rid of Amaka. But still, Jidenna was not reacting as she expected him to react. Then Jidenna told his wife to stand up. When she stood up, they looked at each other and then Amaka went towards the kitchen. Then Jidenna sat next to Akuna. Once Amaka was out of earshot, he told Akuna that, I'm handling the matter, don't worry. I know what I'm waiting for, he told Akuna. Very soon, I will drive her out of the house and then I will take you as a second wife. Akuna was so happy to hear this. She was so happy. Yes, this is what you have said from the beginning. I told you that I am the better wife for you. This Amaka, how can you imagine? How can somebody keep 3 boys on your head, boys that are not your own? She has to confess who is the father of these children. But Jidenna told her to calm down. I will handle the situation. I will handle it. The next thing, as Amaka came out, both of them kept quiet. Amaka put before her kola nut to eat. At first, Akuna didn't want to eat it, but Jidenna insisted that she should eat it. She should eat something. to show that she's not upset with them. So Akuna ate the meal and left. When she got home, she waited and waited for a few weeks to pass, yet Jidenna had not done anything. Instead, he was parading Amaka and the sons as his own and saying that his wife, Amaka, was a good woman. Akuna did not like this. So she decided to go to Jidenna's parents and tell them what Amaka had done. When she got to their house, she was greeted because, again, Akuna was a childhood friend, so she always came to his parents' house when they were small. Jidenna's mother welcomed her. "Have you seen my grandchildren, Akuna? Beautiful children." But Akuna was not smiling. Akuna said, "Yes, Mama, I saw them, but there's something I have to tell you." What is the problem? Then she opened her mouth. As Akuna opened her mouth to tell them what she had found out, nothing could come out. Jidenna's mother said, "Akuna, what's the problem? Talk now." But Akuna was trying, but nothing was coming out from her mouth. Talk, is there a problem? Immediately, Akuna became afraid. She realized that she had become dumb. She could not speak. At that moment, Jidenna came out from his parents' house. He had been inside the home for some time. Once he came out, he made eye contact with Akuna. And in that moment, Akuna realized that Jidenna had somehow made her dumb. Immediately, she ran and left the house. Jidenna's mother was surprised. What is wrong with your friend? "Mama, leave that one. Leave her alone. You know her, she has always been like that." Akuna ran immediately to her friend's house, Chioma. She couldn't speak, but she was frantic. Then Chioma decided to take her to the Ezemo. When they got there, the Ezemo revealed to them that someone had made her dumb, and what was used to make her dumb was kola nuts. Immediately, Akuna remembered the kola nut that was offered to her in Jidenna's house. What Akuna did not know was that when they were children, Jidenna had an accident when he was playing, and because of that, he became impotent. Jidenna knew this, and that is why he couldn't have any children. But he married Amaka and did not tell Amaka. It was years into their marriage that he confessed to her that he couldn't impregnate any woman. Amaka was devastated, but she kept quiet. Instead, they hatched a plan where someone would help them get Amaka pregnant, and that was how Amaka was able to have the triplets. So all along, Jidenna knew the children were not his. But because Amaka was his wife and she had given birth to the children in his home, according to their tradition, the children belonged to him. That was the only way he was able to have children of his own. And now, his childhood friend Akuna wanted to spoil everything. If she had told any other person, then his children would have been referred to as bastards, and he did not want that. And that is why he made Akuna dumb. Akuna, realizing that it was her friends, Jidenna and Amaka, who made her dumb, became scared and kept to herself. She couldn't speak to anybody about the children. She couldn't say anything about their paternity. The Ezemo told her that she could speak in any other matter in her life, but whenever it had to do with Jidenna's children, she could never speak because the magic that was used to make her dumb was very powerful. Once upon a time, in a kingdom called Nzala, lived a man named Nduka. Nduka had a loving family. His wife, Ebere, a son, Njoku, and his daughter, Amma. The family was known to be kind and well respected in the village. They were always helping people in need and treating everyone with respect. As prophesied, the next spiritual priest was to come from their family. This was someone who had the powers of the elements and the powers to heal. This person was their daughter, Amma. Amma was blessed with supernatural powers. She could control the elements and heal the sick with the touch of her hand. However, everyone assumed it was her brother who had the powers, as he was the firstborn son of the family. This assumption was further solidified by her parents, who treated Njoku, their son, like a king and treated Amma like a mere servant. Despite this, Amma never complained and continued to use her power for good. She would sneak out at night to other neighboring villages to help the people there in need. She knew her parents wouldn't like this, so she told no one. One day, their uncle came to visit them. Unbeknownst to them, this uncle was a very powerful wizard. He was evil, one who preyed on the innocent. When he entered her house, he immediately recognized the true source of the power in that family. It was Amma. "My friend, will you come and greet your uncle?" her mother shouted. "Greet him." "Uncle, good afternoon," Amma said. "My friend, will you kneel down? Is he your mate? Show some respect." Amma knelt down and greeted him. She did not like him. She wanted to not see him. But her mother insisted that everyone had to come and greet their uncle. He didn't visit all the time, but today he came. "Ah, come closer, my daughter, come closer." Amma hesitated, but because her mother was watching her, she moved closer to her uncle. His name was Okay. He began to rub her shoulders. In his head, Okay said, "See this power. I must eat it." "How are you, my daughter? How have you been? You're so grown now," he said. He was about to move his hand further, but Amma immediately stood up. "Uncle, I have food on fire. Let me go and bring it for you," she said, and she ran away immediately. When she left, Njoku was introduced as the son. His parents introduced him as the next spiritual priest, the gifted one. They were very proud of him. Okay shook his hand but knew that the boy had no powers. Now, one day when the family was out, Okay, the uncle, came to the house. He knew that at this time, Nduka and his wife were at the farm. There was no need for him to come here to see them, but he came for ulterior motives. He suspected that it was during this time that the family will be preparing the meal. That person will be Amma. So he came. When he came into the compound, he called out, but no one responded. He was about to leave when he heard Amma singing from the back of the house. So he went towards that end. Immediately she saw him, she stopped singing. "Uncle, what are you doing here? My parents are in the farm by this time." He didn't say anything, but it was the way he smiled. Immediately, Amma was afraid. She had the enormous urge to run. She tried to, but Okay, using his evil powers, pressed her down. She was surprised. No one knew he too had powers, but he was stronger than her. He came prepared. After attacking her, he told her not to tell her parents, otherwise they would disown her. No one would believe her. That night, Amma cried and cried. What was she to do? The next day, it happened again, and each time he took away her power, Amma began to fade. She was so scared, but one day she picked up the courage and told her mother. That day, her mother was sitting with her friend, Mama Nkechi. She approached them with tears in her eyes. What is wrong with you? Ebere said. Then Amma told them what had been happening. Her uncle, Okay, would come at noon to attack her. You useless girl. So this is what you have been doing, eh? That is why you're always rushing to go and cook afternoon food for us, Abi? Well, Mama, it's you that sent me to do it. My friend, will you shut up? Shut up! Mama Nkechi said. You see these girls of nowadays. I told you. I have been suspecting this your daughter. Useless girl. Every day I see her running up and down. Hi, God. So now you're big enough to know what man is, Abi? No, Mama, no. He attacked me. I couldn't stop him. Wait. Mama Nkechi said. Ebere, have you looked at this your daughter closely? Hey, it seems like she's pregnant though. What? What did you say? Nobody will bring disgrace to my family. Nobody. My son, the spiritual priest, does not need any scandal in his name. Immediately, Ebere, her mother, beat her up. She beat Amma blue and black. Hey, Amma was crying. She cried and fled away. When her father came back, the mother said that Amma had gone to see her grandparents. Mtuka was surprised. But she did not tell me. My friend, leave that useless girl. She's useless. Let her go. Mtuka was surprised, but he did not ask any other questions. Okay, the uncle was not happy to hear this. He searched everywhere for Amma, but he couldn't find her. But it was okay. He had taken enough power from her to be able to summon the dead. He could summon spirits from the evil forest. That's all he needed. Now, months went by, and Amma's parents did not bother to look for her. But as the days passed, strange things started to happen in the village. The crops were dying. People became sick. The once peaceful kingdom was consumed by darkness and poverty. Njoku, who was believed to have these spiritual powers, was unable to help anyone. The villagers lost faith in him. What type of useless son is this? Where are the spiritual powers? Can't you see your people are dying? Call on the gods to save us. But he couldn't do that. He tried, but there was no power in him. His parents became ashamed. Were you not the ones that told us that this boy had powers? You did not test him? His parents hid their face in shame. All the people they had received favors from abandoned them. The situation in the kingdom became very bad, and the king had to summon the chief priest. The chief priest said that the gods had revealed that the person who had the true powers was Amma. Amma was gifted from birth. Her parents were surprised to hear this. Her uncle, Oke, was the evil one who was causing this misfortune on the kingdom. He has corrupted the girl's power, taking it for himself to summon evil spirits. He has to be eliminated immediately. But who could eliminate him? No one is as powerful as he is except for Amma. But where is Amma? Everyone turned, and they all turned to Ebere, her mother. That was when Ebere confessed as to what Amma had told her that fateful day. Woman, your daughter opened up to you and told you this, and you did not believe her? Ebere began to weep in shame. The chief priest, raising up his staff to the gods, called on them for mercy. Okay, the wizard was moving fast. The kingdom was about to be covered in total darkness. They needed a miracle. They needed the gods to come to their aid. Before Oke could strike, Amma appeared. She appeared in her natural form, that of a goddess. You evil man! You thought you could kill me. You thought you could take away my powers. You can do all evil, but you can never touch what the gods have anointed. Immediately, Amma raised up her hand and thunder struck down Oke. Oke fell down in pain, screaming, "You stupid girl! I have taken your powers." "No, you have not. You cannot take what never belonged to you." With that, Oke was destroyed. And then the darkness was lifted and light shone. And finally, peace and healing came back to the kingdom. Everyone was happy that Amma had come back. Her mother went to her in shame and tears. "My daughter, please forgive me," she said. "I have forgiven you, Mama. If I did not forgive you, I will not be here today." I want to thank everyone who has been asking what's been happening with me. Thank you so much for those who continue to watch. Thank you for those who continue to subscribe. I appreciate the support.